Hey, it's going to be a commentary video for chapter 14th of my book Multidimensional, which is available on Kindle and also for free on Google Play as an audiobook. And the links are in the description. Okay, so chapter 14th of Multidimensional is called Hyperperspectives. Now, before I had some commentary about that chapter, I think I'm going to start with something else. I watched a video on YouTube today that described the common way that science thinks about the relation between experience and the brain, where the brain is basically doing everything, and experience just comes along for the ride. The brain not only does everything, it does everything. It does things before experience ever gets to to perceive it. It makes all the decisions for experience, and experience doesn't make even a single choice, or at least they try to sneak in some kind of decision making that happens in the longer terms, not in the immediate terms. Like you don't make the decision to raise your hand, or raise your arm, or to speak. Not on that level, but you can make some kind of decisions on your policies long term, which is they don't explain how that comes to be. But so yes, there's evidence to show that, but you have to think about what I argued about, like the about what is experience capable of, and the brain is a wakeful machine, basically, right? It operates according to the laws of nature. That's the assumption, right? And an experience has the capacity to breach the laws of nature every single moment. Every time every time it makes a choice, it gets to breach the laws of nature, and to some extent. Now, what would you expect a brain, some kind of a machine that works with experience, to be, if it manages to survive, to exist? If you have you have like a superhero friend that can breach the laws of nature left and right, if you're gonna just give them the capacity to breach the laws of nature left and right, then they will, and they will destroy you, because you, on the way, they will destroy your laws of nature, the thing that makes you operate. If you are going to survive, you're gonna have to trick experience, to trick the superhero to not utilize its whole capacities, to make these supernatural feats. And the way to trick it is to convince them that they don't have that capacity at all. And the way to do that is, well, it's like every time that when experience wants to make a choice, you would say, no, but hey, see, I did all the calculations for you, and this is much better. You should do this. This is the more reasonable explanation of what's going on between experience and the brain. Now, you might say, yeah, but this is only true because of what you argue, and what if you were wrong? But okay, now think about this. What? Think about laughter. Think about tears. Why? In what reality would a brain cry or laugh without being sad or finding something funny? And how can you understand that something is funny or cry if you don't feel anything? I don't think that makes any sense. You're not going to be sad, and you're not going to be crying if you're not sad, and you're not going to be laughing if you're not happy, if you don't find something funny. So, by making the kind of argument that the brain does everything, you kind of suggest that the brain has its own experiential agent that is separate from you, and has its own experience. So you're not saying that experience isn't fundamental. You're saying that you are not important in this thing that's called the body. You think that the brain has an experience. The brain is, if you want, in other through more common terminology, is conscious, and you are a different conscious agent, which has no agency, but it does have agency. or you're going to say, yeah, experience gets to make a choice when gets to say things, have a say about jokes and about sub stories, but not about uh, you know, other stuff like raising your hand or speaking your mind, that you don't have agency for. Um, so to me, to me, this looks like just simply wrong. Simply, it just shows that this common way of perceiving reality is the relation between the brain and experience is wrong. Um, but when you understand it's wrong, then you realize, okay, so what if that's wrong? What if the brain doesn't, well, it gets to hint, suggest things for experience, but doesn't get to make the decisions. The decisions are in experience's court. So how does that work? How does the brain give the information to experience? Now, to make choices from. Like, okay, uh, I mean, sure, like the brain can give you information about what's in front of you, what the senses give you. But is that everything you perceive? No. If you need to remember something, you're not remembering it right now. The body is storing the memories in your brain. If you get brain damage, you're gonna lose those memories. Uh, but how do you know you can remember something? It's not in your perception right now. It's not something you experience right now. So how do you know you can remember it? Um, how can you think if you are completely busy processing the perspective you perceive? You see, so look, the way I began this is like assuming there's a three-dimensional world out there that contains forms, and that's it, and I perceive the forms. But then I realized that no, there's no world out there. That the world is a perceptional world, and the thing that I perceive is not the form. That I perceive a perspective, and that puts me inside that reality. So I need not three-dimensional forms. I need the four-dimensional form. Four-dimensional form is a perspective. But now I see, wait, I need much more than that. I need much more than perceive what's out there right now. I need also the body should be able to, the brain should be able to tell me like, you can remember this, and you can think about that, and you can apply this kind of reasoning here, and all these kind of hints, but you don't have a way to stuff it into a perspective. A perspective is just like the forms that you perceive right now. It's not the potential forms that you're going to perceive later if you choose to. So for that you need something of at least 5 dimensions or more. That's what I call hyper perspective, and which opens like a whole experiential depth for you to make choices from. And it's not everything. It's not like you can think about everything that you can ever imagine, because, well, there's a limit to how much imagination you're going to get from inspiration you're going to get from what the brain lets you perceive. Like, for example, you will not have access to the memories of someone else, right? Of course, that's a contrived example, but there's more. Like, you will not get to think the thought that you will only think in 10 years. So this opens like this kind of a space or distance or difference between the experience and the brain that we just don't consider. Like the fact that we can think about things even and they may not actually cause changes in the wakeful physical world. This is what I call experiential drifts. And there are cases where it will. That's what I call experiential leaps. Well, that's all in the chapter, and it's better to listen or read it. But yeah, we need to realize that the way we assumed things work doesn't work, even though it seems like it does, and then realize the consequences of it not working and revise our assumptions.